Hi, it's Marilyn Maceri, your consciousness coach, back again for another episode of Conscious Awakening. Today we've got Michelle Pawl-Gierak is back. Earlier we talked about the law of attraction, and today we're going to be talking about the law of deliberate creating, which is a complementary law to the law of attraction. So welcome, Michelle. Welcome back to another episode. I'm so glad you could make it today.
Not a problem. Thanks for the invitation.
You're welcome. So today we're going to be talking about the law of deliberate creating and what a beautiful complementary law to the law of attraction that it is and how it can really enhance the law of attraction. Let's reframe a little bit about the law of attraction again. The law of attraction says that what you think about comes about. When you put your energy, your thoughts, your focus into something, you attract through vibration.
Correct. If you're planning to attract or not. So the difference with this particular complementary law is that now you're going to do it deliberately.
Right, because it works 100% of the time. When you create an intention and you see it, feel it, live as if it already has happened, that's when you manifest. That's when it comes into being. From what I understand, Michelle, and see if you agree, because I know this is a lot of information that's been coming in lately, and that is that we live in a multidimensional world where we are multidimensional beings, meaning everything that you could possibly imagine already exists.
Correct.
In one dimension or another. And so when we resonate to a certain intention, that is when we see something, when we know something absolutely, then our energy is congruent with that desire, with that intention. It's not like we're really creating it, but what we're doing is we're entering that dimension where it already exists.
Right.
And so that's the power behind the law of deliberate creating.
When you put the power of belief behind the thought that you create, it manifests in a faster, more deliberate way.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's a very popular phrase that most people say, and it's out there all the time. I hear it all the time. People say, I'll believe it when I see it. You know, I believe it when I see it. I don't really believe it. But if I see it, I'll believe it. Show me. Mm-hmm. And you know, the law of deliberate creating really says the exact opposite, Michelle. What the law of deliberate creating says is when you believe it, you will see it.
Absolutely.
First, you must believe it. First, you must believe, you must see it first, okay? And then it will manifest in your life. See it in your mind's eye. See it, focus on it, intend for it.
Well, that's what faith is all about.
Exactly.
You have to believe it, and it's belief without seeing. I mean, it's even, here we go to the biblical side again. If you don't have to have it physically in your hand to believe that it's going to be created. And that's the whole basis of faith.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, one day you can't go, well, you know, I'm not sure, I don't know, I'm having doubts, you know, I really don't want to, you know, because what that does is it slides you backwards. So, Michelle, imagine you're on a line, and as you're consciously and purposely intending for something, you are excited, your energy's flowing, and you are manifesting it through visualizing it, and you are talking to people about it and how excited you are, and you're seeing it and you're writing about it, and you just keep moving along this line, getting closer and closer and closer to that intention being fulfilled. And now we can't put a time frame on it really, because we allow it to the universe. We let go and let the universe provide. But you hold steady, you hold fast in that declaring it as being so. You feel it, you talk about it, you're excited about it, and you just keep moving along that line towards it. However, let's say you start having doubts and you're like, oh, I don't really know, I'm not seeing any results. Am I really going to get? So what happens is you start going back this way. Because what happens, you are never stagnant. We are never stagnant energetically. And so you're either moving one way or you're moving the other way, but you're never standing still, right?
Absolutely.
So you have to really be diligent and really see it, believe it. There's a saying from The Secret that I absolutely love. And it was a part that said, I know, like I know, like I know, that this is happening in divine timing, all as it should, one step at a time. I'm moving closer and closer to my goal.
And that makes perfect sense to me. You know, Marilyn, even when you're sleeping, you're not standing still. Mm-hmm. That's why it's so powerful to end your day on a positive thought and to go to sleep with a positive thought, because that's how you're ending your day. Think of one positive thing that happened, and then when you wake up, you have to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. You have to begin the day with a positive intention, with a positive thought. Let me share with you what happened this week, and I wish someone would have taught me this when I was a kid. When we're young, we're so sponge-like. We can absorb so many things, and it takes us longer as we get older. But I was having my granddaughter over last week, and we were starting our day. And I said to my granddaughter, who's 6, she'll be 6 in April or May, and I said, what are we going to do special today? What special thing's going to happen to us today? And so we laid there for a few minutes and said, how about we think that we're going to find some money? She said, okay, let's find some money. And they call me Bocce. So she said, what else, Bocce? Can we have something else we need to do? And I said, well, you know, we got to go to the grocery store. So maybe we want to get a front parking spot, okay? So we're going to lay here for a few minutes, and we're going to see us finding some money, and we're going to find a front parking spot at the grocery store. So we got on with our day, and I was going to pick up lunch for my son. We were going to his house for lunch. And we go into Buscemi's to pick up pizza, and we're walking out, and I look down, and I say to Noah, oh my gosh, Noah, look. And I point, and there's a penny on the ground. And she goes, oh my God, Bocce, oh my God, we found money. And I'm like, didn't we plan to find money? And look how it worked.
How beautiful.
And she picked the penny up, and she went to give it to me. I said, oh no, I want you to keep that in your pocket. Oh, okay, so she put it in her little pocket. So then we went and had lunch with my son, and we went to the grocery store, and we're driving. I said, now what did we think about? Well, what are we going to do when we get to the grocery store? Let's just keep thinking about it. And we pulled to the grocery store, the front spot, the lady's pulling out, and I'm going, Noah, look what's happening. And we are the front spot of the grocery store. And she goes, oh my God, we thought about that today too. That's the kind of, those are little things, but that's the kind of creation that you want to make in magnitudes of things, right?
Absolutely.
So you just have to put it out there and say it's going to happen. Now, we were very blessed that it happened that day. Both of them happened that day. But it was just miraculous that I could teach her that in 24 hours. You know, look, if you think about this, it's going to happen. And it was just wonderful that she was so excited, and she got it. She was, you know, she's little, so she got it. Mm-hmm. So now if I can get her to use that and teach her brother and sister the same thing, then how wonderful will this world be in 20 years?
Absolutely. Deliberately creating.
Deliberately creating.
And what a beautiful lesson that was for you to teach her that and for it to manifest that very day exactly as she had envisioned. And it just shows you that even though those were little things, it doesn't matter. The magnitude, whether it's huge or very, very, very small, it doesn't matter to the universe.
Well, the thing is, you have to realize the blessing that happened then. Mm-hmm. So you have to take a moment to say thank you.
Absolutely.
And you're like, oh my gosh, I found my first intention, and this is what happened. And maybe it's that you just had great traffic getting into work. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, I came right through to work and I had no problems with traffic. Thank you. And
absolutely
continue to, I mean, even when I do that in my own soul, I can feel that vibration going up my back. Mm-hmm. I can feel that thank you. And so what is that going to do? It's going to resonate, and it's going to create better, more, bigger intentions.
Absolutely. And that leads us into what's called segment intending. When you sit or lay in the morning and close your eyes and envision what's coming next or what's coming in your day, and envision it the way you choose it to be, whether you're going into a meeting at work or whether you have a big test or something happening at school, or whether you're going to a physician's appointment or whatever. Imagine and see it going exactly the way you desire it to go. Walking in with confidence, feeling the energy of the work that you're doing in school coming easily and freely to you without having to stress over it. And then, like you said, as your day goes on, this intention then unfolds effortlessly because you've already programmed it. It's like a programming. You're programming your mind, you're programming yourself, you're programming energetically what you want to see in the world. It's like writing a script, pretty much.
Exactly. I don't know if you watched 2020 last week on all those $1 million lottery winners that were out there. And one of the lottery winners, they interviewed her. I think she was the one in Texas. She was in one of the southern states. And she said, and they showed her sitting on her couch meditating, and she said, I just knew I was going to win. I didn't know how much I was going to win, but I was focusing on this number, 11, that's my birth date, and the number 2 came into my head. So I was meditating on 11-2, 11-2. She won $112,000.
Thousand or million?
Million. I'm
I
sorry.
thought it was million.
Yeah, it was million. You're right. 100.
Yeah.
I have to think of all the zeros. That's a
the
million.
zeros.
And she said, but the number was what was the magic?
Right.
112.
112.
And she said, I meditated every day. I knew it was going to come. I just didn't know how many zeros were going to be behind it.
Wow.
And, so she could have got $11.20, or $1.12.
Exactly.
I mean, she could have filed $1.12 on the floor and said, there's my 11.2.
Right, 11.2.
But the fact meant that she was meditating on something big. She knew it was going to be big. She didn't know how big. And you have to watch it, 2020.
Yes.
I was like, wow, we do that every day.
Yes. How amazing. And that's such a perfect example. She really didn't know when this was going to happen. She didn't even know how much, like you said,
right.
But she focused on the numbers. She drew that to her.
Right.
But she focused big.
Right. She focused big. So $1.12 would not have happened, but
but how big? Could have been 120.
Could have been
112. Yeah,
right.
100.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Some with a couple zeros behind it. But the fact
Right.
still remains that she didn't limit herself to, it can only be this much, or I can only win it this way, or she just focused on the number. Now, it happened for her that it came through the lottery, and that was the number. Maybe it could have come through raffle tickets she got, but unusual that it was 11-2, and that was really an interesting, because that was her birth date, and she said she didn't know why 2 was important, but she knew that it was. So there you go.
Interesting.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there is no limit. For example, one of our teachers who wrote the book, Soup for the Soul.
Oh yes.
Help me with this.
Jack
Canfield, and who was the other guy? Steve. I want to say Covey, but I'm not sure it's not it. But he said he knew that he was going to write a book, and he stuck above his bed $1 million. He got $1 million, and he stuck it on his ceiling. And every morning he waked up.
That was Jack Canfield.
Was it Canfield? Oh yeah, it was Jack Canfield. I'm sorry.
Jack Canfield said that. Yeah.
Right, and so he said he looked at it every day, and I'm wonderful that he didn't know how, he didn't know when, but he knew that was the number.
Right.
And the rest is history.
Right.
The
intention is the asking.
Right.
And the believing is when you focus and you know. Being open to receiving guidance that may lead you to. Now, if she didn't buy a ticket.
Right, exactly.
But she was led to buy a ticket.
Right.
He was led to use the notes that he had and to create this book, to create articles and create this book. But he followed his guidance. She followed her guidance. So that's receiving the guidance, and then they acted on the guidance, which is they did what they were guided to do.
Right, exactly.
So it's ask, believe, receive, and act.
Correct.
And so deliberately creating is such a powerful tool in use with the law of attraction, because you're not creating by default. You're not just going through your day allowing things just to happen to you randomly, which really they're not, because you're creating them unconsciously. You're
Right.
creating them in lower, denser energies like anger, frustration, being, seeing it not going your
Right,
way.
exactly.
Most people create what they don't want because that's what they're focused on.
It's that line is, I knew it was going to happen.
Yes.
And you were focusing on not creating it by focusing on not creating it. That's exactly what you created. Was where you put the focus was not, and that's kind of what it's the opposite side of that, but the same dimension.
And Michelle, I have to bring in the energy of worry. When we worry about a person, when we worry about a situation, when we worry about anything, we're actually sending worry energy into that situation or to that person, which is a very specific energy. And when you focus on worrying about someone, you're really not doing them a justice at all. You're really hurting them and damaging them energetically, because it's such a low, dense energy, and you're focusing on it, and you're actually creating what you don't want for that person.
And they're probably already there, and so you're just feeding more energy to the
You're feeding more to it. So instead of worrying about something or worrying about a person, and I know we do as mothers and as people who have loved ones in our lives, that's the traditional way of showing love for someone, but that's really damaging. It's very hurtful to that other person. And so what we want to do, what really is helpful, is to just send love. Just send love to that person. Know that they are being guided to do what they need to do in their life. Feed love. Bring love into the situation from your heart. Imagine that loving cord going from your heart, and the love that you truly love energy. If you really love a person enough to worry about them, you love them enough to send them love, so that they can feel that love, and so that they will resonate with higher levels of frequency, and they will be guided to do what's best for them.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
And the situation, whatever the situation may be, will be surrounded in love and light, because that's the highest and purest vibration there is, love and light. You're seeing them healthy. You're seeing them in this
peaceful. You're seeing
exactly
them balanced, whatever,
That's so important, rather than worrying about them. It's such a huge shift in a conscious awakening, conscious
Absolutely.
awareness to do that.
It's difficult sometimes to do, but sometimes it's the best thing that you can do, because you can't do anything else. Hopefully raise their negative vibration, and if you get more people to send them some love,
Absolutely.
It certainly will help.
So, we have a tendency sometimes to focus on what's not working. Well, that's feeding more and more energy to what's not working, rather than deliberately creating what it is you desire, and putting your energy and your love and your light into what you do want to see, and not what you don't want to see.
And they should start the morning to do that and end the day the same way.
Absolutely. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you for this beautiful episode. Thank you for all of the delightful goodness that you bring, and I am so truly grateful for this amazing ability
Thank you, Marilyn,
to
for
bring this
inviting me.
information to our viewers.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So thank you again for tuning in to this amazing episode of Conscious Awakening. Remember, deliberately creating. It's very powerful. Stay tuned for more. Be back soon.